Well, we are finally live. That's great. So, do you feel like you are stuck in trying to do your best? Do you feel like you need to improve all the time? Do you need to try your best, but at the same time you never attain the standards you have set for yourself? Do you feel that you can never achieve this perfect yourself that you see? You compare yourself to others because they are better, and you are burning out. So we are talking about perfectionism, and today I want to give you another tool that you can use to be the best at what you want to be, which is excellence. There is a difference between perfectionism and the excellence, and I hope you will like it. If you are joining me live right where you are watching from, it will be a great experience today, and let's dive. Today we have a deep dive program. Deep dive. Let me write it here. Every Tuesday we have a deep dive. So that's a program we have today. It's Tuesday, and we're going to dive in this topic of perfectionism versus excellence. If you didn't understand until now, you have to replace your perfectionism with excellence, because this is where the whole trap is. It is in perfectionism. You already know this, but we are going to review this in details. Where are you watching from? Write in chat if you are regular viewer. If you are just if you join for the first time, you need to subscribe, because you will not be able to write in the chat. So you will be on time out for 5 minutes until you will be able to write in the chat. So what we have here: perfectionism versus excellence. And let us start with this definition. So what does it mean, excellent? Excellent, it means very good, of its kind, eminently good, eminently good. And let's see now what's perfect. Because we are comparing those two things. Let me remove this distracting thing. So what's perfect? Perfect is being entirely without fault and defect. So it's flawless. Do you see the difference? Right away from the beginning, do you see the difference? And can you imagine how does it affect your life? So one more time: perfectionism is being entirely without fault or defect. Can you do it? Can you be flawless? Do you understand why do you feel so much stressed? And let's see now excellence. Excellent is very good, of its kind, eminently good. But what I like to do, I like to dive into a meaning of the word, so that it helped me to root this understanding in myself, so that I can overcome the issue I'm dealing with. So if I'm dealing with perfectionism, what I need to understand the root of the perfectionism. And I don't mean the psychological root, which is we are going to discuss today about it. And I know for us, for creators, because we are the community of creators on a mission, for us it is very important to understand. Without distinguishing perfectionism from excellence, you won't be able to succeed in what you are doing on YouTube or on the social media. So I like to dive into meaning of the word. And the meaning of the word excellence comes from Latin word excellere. Cellere means to rise high. It's important that you understand this. Remember this, that cellere, it means to rise, oops, not this, rise high. Yeah, and then that's about celery. So an X, it means out of. Accelerate, you rise from, and you rise high. You change the form. You go from one level to another level of yours. your level. Now let us look in more details into perfection. What perfect means? As we said, it's being entirely without fault or defect, flawless. And where it comes from, where this word comes from. I made a mistake. It's actually here a different word. Let me correct it here so that you don't get, it's A over here. So perfacere, it means thoroughly, going thoroughly, doing thoroughly. It means that you are just making it perfect. But the word perfect, it became with our psychologists trying to explain where the things go wrong when we're trying just to improve. So this is where they go wrong. Perfectionism on itself, it's not a problem. Actually, we are going to review the pros and cons of each perfectionism and excellence, so you can decide for yourself what do you want. But what we are looking at when we talk about perfectionism is a slightly different approach to improvement. It is an approach to improvement more directed on yourself, on your inner world, and not on your goal. This is how I see it. But for you to make a decision on your own, let me just go and dissect this little by little. So that's pros of excellence, if you as you understand. Pros, it means this is a good thing to have. Let us see what actually do we have here. So when you are excellent, it encourages you to learn and adapt. So it encourages learning and adaptability. So when you make mistakes, you see it as feedback that helps you to improve. For instance, I was working today on uploading on bulk my reels. I wanted to see what will go wrong. Actually, I did it so that I can see what goes wrong, so that I can create a system out of it. That's excellence. That's not perfectionism. I didn't try to just publish in 2 hours 50 reels or 20 reels. It was not the goal. The goal was to see the feedback. I needed a feedback. That's excellence. If you would be trying to be perfect, you would try to actually in 2 hours to upload 50 reels and see what happens, and then be disappointed that it didn't work for you because you think it has to work for you every single time. Do you understand? That's the issue. Every single time. But we're talking about excellence. So the mindset of learning in a way that mistake becomes a feedback, it leads to resilience and long-term success. So yes, you are failing, but then where you go towards success. That's why you need to embrace excellence. Another reason you need to embrace excellence, which is also pros of excellence, we're talking about pros. It's a sustainable motivation. So why with chasing perfection we don't have sustainable motivation? Because it depends on you being perfect every single time. You cannot be perfect every single time. But with the excellence, growth feels rewarding. So the progress is satisfying. There is a book on that teaches you how to perceive progress as a new success. So progress is a new success. Progress on itself is satisfying, and you don't have burnout. And I don't want you guys to have burnout, and that's why I've chosen this topic today. And excellence is going to be a topic that we are going to discuss the whole month. As you have seen last month, we were focusing on mission. So everything, all the topics that I was choosing, they were around mission, planning, helping you understand your life goal and things like that. And today we are starting to talk about excellence, and we are going to talk about excellence the whole month. So the next thing important about excellence is that it is a healthy self-image. When you are not focusing on being perfect, you base your identity not on being perfect, of course, but on being in motion, moving. If I am moving forward, that's a good sign. I am excelling. So what did we say excellence is going from one state to another. Yeah, out from. X means out from, and celery means to rise high. So you are just going to the next state, the continuous growth. That's the good thing about the excellence. Next thing is innovation. Excellence fosters innovation. It allows you experimentations because you are open to mistakes. Innovation is impossible without mistakes. Innovation is impossible without flaws. That's the reason many people, they lose momentum. They lose momentum because there is some issue that comes up and they focus on this issue to solve it, to make things perfect, instead of turning this into a new finding. Become creative with this issue. Turn this issue into something that will take you to the next level. For instance, last Friday, I was supposed to have a guest, and to be honest, I couldn't find the guest, or maybe I wasn't thorough enough, and I wasn't perfect enough to find a guest for our show. Maybe I just was tired. But with my mindset, I don't have to be perfect. So what I did, I said, let me just create, we are in AI era, let me create to myself the robot guest. And we actually had a robot online. And it wasn't going, it wasn't just a text. We had a animated character robot. His name is Robert. I called him Robert, and we are going to invite him other times. So you see that this imperfection, it allows experimentation and creativity. And the opposite goes for the perfection. Perfection doesn't allow creativity because you have to be perfect. You have to be flawless. And the last thing for pros of excellence is inner fulfillment. Excellence connects efforts with meaning. So you say, I am growing and I am alive. So mistakes, they do not make you feel like everything is lost. But excellence also has its cons. So that's it. We spoke about pros, and now, because I want to be fair, I don't want to be unfair and just to groom you into be excellent if you like perfection. I want to review from both sides, excellence and perfection, so that you can decide for yourself. Although I'm rooting for excellence straight away. So let us review now what the excellence has for us as cons. What is the negative side? So excellence can bring potentially restlessness, because if you want to grow all the time, if you have this constant push for growth, and you might have not taken time to rest. So you need to understand that even in nature teaches us that even in growth there are pauses. So that could be an issue if you don't understand this. Then another negative of the excellence, when it's like not when it's taken to extreme, it can mask overachievement. It can actually be unreal pursuit of improvement. So it means that you are the same as chasing perfection. You are a perfectionist. Another thing, I'm not going to talk about the cons too much, just let's go through it fast. You might be comparing yourself to other people, but again, I think it's more related to perfectionism. It's possible comparison trap, but I think it's more related to perfectionism. So when we talk about excellence, we are talking about progress, and measuring progress can lead to comparing yourself with others. So when we measure progress, when we see how we grow, when we see how we excel, we should not compare this to others, to how they are growing, how they develop, because we need to compare it to ourselves. We are going to the next level, not other people are going to the next level. So that's how you have to see excellence. You have to be better than yesterday when you are excellent. And if you don't take breaks, if you are not balanced, if you don't have contentment, if you do not take rest, if you don't take rest, then you are in the risk of burnout, just like with perfection. Constant growth is good, but it's constant growth with the rest as well. So the healthy striving also can drain energy if you don't have boundaries. There should be some kind of boundaries. So excellence doesn't is not unstoppable growth. It is seasonal growth. You grow, you take a rest. It's important. Otherwise, you will deal with the cons of excellence. Now, let's talk about the pros of perfectionism, because perfectionism is not totally negative quality, is also good quality, and let us talk about this quality. Why not? So this is pros of perfectionism. Of course, perfectionists, they are attentive to details, which is very important. When I work with people, when I work with editors, with designers, it's very important that you don't have to review the work all the time, that people are oriented on details, because details, in our work, in creators' work, the details matter a lot. Imagine you have written a book. The book has a perfect message that is helpful to people, that is going to change their lives. But then in this book, there are hundreds and thousands of mistakes. What will happen? People are not going to read a book like this. Actually, there is one book that literally changed my life, and I focused a lot on this book for people to read it, for my students to read it. But the problem with this book is that it doesn't have reviews. Why? It doesn't have reviews on Amazon because people just don't want to leave a negative comment, and there must be a critique. So the book, the message is so good and so important that people don't want to write the truth about the editor's work. Editor didn't do a good job. The editor have missed a lot of mistakes, and it's not typo, it's just thoughtless, unperfect. That's not good. That's not good. So perfectionism is important also. And the good thing about this is attention to details. So you have high standards, and you produce a quality work. That's very important. I would love to have people perfectionist at my work. The problem with perfectionism, so the problem with perfectionism is that it's not good for you, not for people you are working for. Is not good for you, because what happens is when you're working for someone and you are perfect, they are benefiting from it, because they don't need to control you. They know you have a high standard. But the problem is when you want to create something for yourself. And when we are creators on a mission, usually we are working for ourselves, we are working on our channels. And here is the problem. When you work on your channel, you have to be your own boss. When you work on your book, you have to be your own boss. You have to decide what is the high standard. You have to decide when the things have to be released, when the YouTube has to be updated, like the videos have to be released, what will be the thumbnails. But when you are suffering from perfectionism, then you are not going to stop yourself and to say, no, we are not improving it, we are releasing it. So what happens with perfectionist that is his own boss is that he allows himself not to align to deadlines or not to align to the system, which is important to align to the system for you to succeed anywhere. So perfectionists are not aligned to the system because they put the quality of the work first. And then what happens is that they don't have progress. That's why I told you in the beginning of the video, do you feel like you don't have progress? It's not because you are not working hard. It's not because you are not doing the good job. It just means that you are allowing yourself to stuck with the work for too long and you're not good boss for yourself. And now let's go and talk about reliability. Let's see. So the good thing another good thing of perfectionism is that you are reliable. As I said before, you are reliable. Yeah, perfectionists meet deadlines, but they are meeting not their own deadlines. That's the issue. They are delivering to someone else. That's the issue. Another good thing about perfectionism is that they are predictable. Sure, they are. They will come in time to work. They will do everything like that. These are very good people to employ, perfectionists. Unfortunately, they cannot produce for themselves, and we are, as creators on a mission, we want to ensure that we can manage growing our YouTube channels. We don't need a boss, we are our own boss. So predictability, why they are predictable perfectionists? Because they avoid errors. Results are consistent. So if I would delegate something to you, I would be satisfied. I wouldn't need even to check. But the next one, let us go to the next one. Short-term excellence. This doesn't look like pros. It says can drive people to perform exceptionally in the short run when under pressure. So that's not good. It doesn't look actually like the pros, because it is a short-term excellence. It means if you are under a lot of pressure, as I said, when the boss is pressuring you, you can produce. Otherwise, you can't produce. That's a huge problem. Someone was laughing here, and it was like, I believe that people are not from our community if you are not serious here. So if you are joining and you are learning something, I want you to write takeaways. I need you to write something so that I understand that you are getting something here, that what I'm sharing is clear. I need to understand this. So now we will talk about cons of perfectionism. Cons of perfectionism. Give me a second, just looking for where is this slide. Sorry, didn't. Okay, got it. I think. slide, okay, slide 6. Why you are not drawing? I don't know. Let me make a small break. It's not drawing, so I need to reset it. We are going to talk about the cons of perfectionism. Meanwhile, let me just tell these cons to you without drawing. There is some kind of issue that I need to address. Okay, we got it. So we got it. We said that's about cons of perfectionism. Cons. And that's my favorite part, because this is why I wanted to discuss this with you. And you see that I've been fair, because I brought to you and perfectionism cons and pros and cons and excellence pros and cons, and you will decide what's better for you. Now, the fear of failure obviously is with perfectionist, is not with person who strives to be excellent, because we are talking here about flaws, fear of flaws. The person who is a perfectionist want to avoid flaws at all costs, because it feels like catastrophe to fail. And of course, this leads to procrastination and paralysis, because you cannot produce unless it is very, very good to your standard. Another another negative quality of perfectionists is that they are always dissatisfied. They are always always find flaws in themselves, in other people. Like if you show them the work, they cannot look at what are the good things in this work. So what happens with perfectionists, especially as a leader, is that they struggle to give praise to their team members, and it's quite difficult to work with person like this unless you understand that this person is perfectionist and actually struggles personally with this, and this is how this person treats themselves. So maybe it's easier when you understand this, but many don't. So no matter how good the things will be, this person will always find what's wrong, because you cannot do things totally like perfect. Usually it takes time for people to grow, and it's very difficult to be around perfectionists for this reason. So because it's never enough for them, it's never enough. So this leads to burnout, low self-esteem when we talk about the perfectionist himself, and people are just running away from perfectionist. That's the problem. Another negative quality of perfectionist is that they are limited. They have limited creativity, and it's called here stiff creativity, but I would say it's limited creativity. When you are too focused on doing things perfect, as we said, you cannot try. There is no innovation. The fear of imperfection will do what? It will block experimentation and growth. Perfectionists, they struggle to do any creative job. So when you get to YouTube as a perfectionist, then you will actually struggle. I watched yesterday one set of recommendations on how to grow YouTube from a person who has multiple channels, and some of them are million subscribers channel. And he said about the rule that is called 80% rule. And he said this is what helped him to progress in his YouTube journey. 80% rule is about quality of the work you release. You have a rule for yourself: never to perfect to 100% your work. Not because it shouldn't be perfected, but because you have to be satisfied with 80%. If you are satisfied with 80%, you release the video. It means you don't make the work that no one wants to watch, but you are not trying to be a Hollywood production when you are sitting in the room with your PC and like recording with the camera that is not a Hollywood standard camera. So just relax. If your work is good enough, if it's 80% of the work is good, then you release. And he says that it's a little bit difficult, of course, with YouTube, because in many areas and industries you can improve things later as the time goes. For example, you have written a book, you have released the book, but then you can release the second revision, second, what is it called, second release, second volume. So you can update your book, you can release. But with YouTube channel, the video that you released already, it already is there, it's already watched, and it already have done its job. So people either subscribe to you or they unsubscribe to you from the video. But he says that if you will strive to go for 100% of the quality, then you will just not release, and it means you will not grow. You will not release enough videos, and it will not allow you to grow. And I agree. I think you have to have a standard of consistency and standard of trying consistently. So standard of innovation, I think it's more better standard than having 100% quality job. That's what I think is better, because otherwise you cannot grow, and we are focusing on growth. Next one, which is we're talking about cons of perfectionism, is fragile sense of self. That's true. So difficult to work with perfectionists, because when you are saying about flaws, usually perfectionists, they are so much hurt, they are hurt with this, it's like I don't know, it's a disaster. So it's very difficult to give them feedback. You have to give a lot of praise first, and then I don't know even how to go about this, but perfectionism is difficult when you're working with perfectionists from this point. So I would say, if you hire perfectionists, if you have students who are perfectionists, I wish you the best. I wish you the best, because that's a challenge. But that's why we are here, to teach people. Even if you are perfectionist, we're going to be there. We are striving for 1 million subscribers here. Everyone who is watching me has to have this goal. And the last con of the perfectionist is damaged relationships. Of course, that's why, because excessive control and criticism is very difficult. I know, because my husband is perfectionist, so much perfectionist. We have a good relationship, but I'm looking at him. We have a good relationship, but sometimes when we were young, we are 22, 23 years already soon married, and when we were young, he was demanding so much perfectionism everywhere, that I felt constantly that I'm always below the, below the ground, so unperfect. That's how I felt. Not that he was trying to show it. Later I understood that my husband, he likes things in order and things like that. But when I was young, I thought that something is wrong with me, because he was perfectionist, and we had a lot of I had a lot of challenges, and when we overcame, this period when you are learning about each other, and I understood that he's perfectionist, I started appreciating it. Sometimes we were joking about it, joking about his, the way he puts the clothes in the wardrobe, everything, it has to be perfect. So we started joking and laughing about this. So humor helps. If you have damaged relationships because of your perfectionism, maybe think of humor that you need to develop. But unless you do it, it's going to be hard on others and on yourself. So the connections are going to be broken because people, they just don't understand that you want to be the best, you want to be perfect, that your standard is too high. They don't understand that it's your problem, it's not their problem. That's why the relationships are damaged. And now what I want to talk to you about is this. So the perfectionism here, I want you to understand this. Perfectionism is related to control. Okay, perfectionism is related to control. So it is control oriented condition. Perfectionism is control oriented condition. Do you like to be around people who are controlling? No. Do you like to have pressure on yourself to unachievable standard all the time? No. So perfectionism is good when you want to employ someone, but for you is going to be a challenge if you are perfectionist, because the definition that I want you to remember is that it is compulsion to be flawless, or to avoid mistakes at all costs, to reach a fixed idealized state of without defect, being perfect. That's a definition. And when we are talking about compulsion, there is even a disorder like this. It's called compulsive obsessive disorder. I don't remember, something like this. Compulsive obsessive disorder. So it means that people obsess about being perfect, and that's a disorder that requires already a psychiatrist or psychologist. So if you don't want to go into this route and have this disorder, then you should not then you shouldn't should do something about this. Let us see the chat, because we have people watching from Houston. Hello, real man mentor, thank you for joining from Houston, guys. And if you are watching this live stream and you are in live chat, just go to this channel of Real Man Mentor and see what he has to share about raising kids, about being a real man, about being a leader, about being a father. He's a father of 5 kids, 5 boys. How to share the values, and also he is a leader to young people. So if you want to collaborate with him on any projects to teach young people how to be successful, so he is the person to go to. Let's go back to our lesson. And thank you so much. Matthias is saying thorough session. Thank you so much. It's not perfect, although it's excellent. Not perfect, excellent. Just joking. Okay, let's go back. Now we are talking about the core motivation. How do you understand that you fall into perfectionism? So everyone once in a while will fall into perfectionism, and how to understand that you have to pull yourself out of this situation is, look at this. If you have this motivation, core motivation is I must not fail. control, fear, and avoidance of failure. That's the problem. So if you say, I must not fail, if you say this, then you have fallen in perfectionism. You have to do something with that. Let's go and see now the excellence. How do you understand that you have moved away from perfectionism and actually found the way to focus on excellence? How do you do this? Let us see. So excellence, so compare this, see this. So perfectionism is control-oriented condition. The excellence is growth-oriented condition. And at the end of this session, I'll go and show you at the beginning what we have spoken about, the meaning of the words, so that you can remember for yourself because it's connected, the meaning of the words are connected to actually the word itself. So you will remember that how to dissect this word, that this word is about orientation on yourself, centered around yourself, and the excellence is about the growth. Now let's talk about this. So this is growth oriented life view on your life, growth oriented mindset. The definition of it. Definition is that excellent people, they drive to improve, evolve, rise beyond one's current level, your current level. So it's going to be your goal to be better than you have been yesterday, and become better, not flawless. That's not about being not flawless, okay? And it's rooted in progress and mastery. So what does it mean, mastery? It means that you want to master something. To master something, you fail very often. To master something, you have to repeat. How people become the master of sports, for example, the master of gymnastics. How do they get the masters of gymnastics and earn the golden medal? By jumping, doing the moves, doing the jumps, falling until their muscle will learn which move to do, not to fall. So that's how you learn. The core motivation of the person that is focused on excellence is, let me see how far I can go. Expansion, curiosity, and growth. We've been talking a lot about intellectual curiosity. We have been talking each Friday about intellectual curiosity, and I think that people who are intellectually curious, they are striving to be excellent, to excel, to go to the next level. They are not striving to be perfect, because intellectual curiosity, it includes empathy for people. Intellectually curious people, they are empathetic. So you cannot be perfectionist and intellectually curious person, because perfectionists, they control. They just want everyone to be perfect around them, and that's not how you improve things. If you will try to do things perfect around you, you will start hurting people, and we don't want hurting people. We want to transform people. All right, so that's it. Let's go back to where we started and see again the definitions. Yeah, so when we talk about excellence, the word excellent means very good, of its kind, eminently good, and accelerate. It means ex. The word ex in Latin mean, let me remove the drawings. So the word ex in Latin means out of, out from, out. Ex in Greek, when we say exit, by the way, exit also. Exit is from word exo. Exo is out, out. So every time you see X, it means out. Accelerate means out of what? Yourself, going higher, becoming better, accelerate. And when we talk about perfectionism, the word perfection, the word perfection is be doing thoroughly. Doing thoroughly. It's not a bad word. It doesn't mean bad anything. Yeah, the pair means thoroughly. It's over than bigger expectation, thoroughly, very good detail orientation. But this thing of doing is a little bit excessive, because you are doing so much that you burn out. That's the issue with the perfectionism. What do you think about our session today? Let's chat a little bit in our chat. I am ready to round up. This was a new series which I started last Tuesday, maybe a little bit earlier. I just gather all my topics into a playlist that is going to be called Deep Dive. Deep dive, it means we dissect some things that will help us to change our mindset for growth, mindset for achievement of the goals that we have in our life, our mission, improvement of our mission. And I want you to write what is your takeaway. If you want to deep dive with me, you can come here live, join in this live stream and talk with me about what I'm going to, the topic that will be the topic of the month. Topic of this month is excellence. Excellence is our topic. We are not going to talk every time about perfectionism, so that's only today. Other times we will talk about the principles, how to become excellent in different areas. And you as creators who will grow your channels, YouTube channels, to 1 million subscribers, you need to become excellent. Excellence must be your second nature. Excellence must be your second nature. So what do you think about this? Do you want to write? What do you think about the perfectionism versus excellence? I'm giving you some time because there is a delay in this stream, and meanwhile I want to ask you to subscribe. We have what do we have? Oh my goodness, we have 125 people in our community subscribed. When I started this stream, we had 123. I love you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. I usually show this at the end. This is a kiss, but I'm showing this now. Thank you so much for subscribing, and invite your friends. Let us grow. Our goal is 1,000 subscribers for now. It's a milestone that we need to achieve. And then we are going to be 1 million here. Oh wow, we have already one comment is going to appear right now. Here it is. Let me read. I'm looking forward to learn more about this series, as sometimes I become obsessed with excellence so much that I slow my progress. Thank you. Very good. I love the way you said I obsess with excellence. Yeah. So I think when we obsess with excellence, it's not excellence anymore. When we obsess with it. So when there is a part of obsession, it's already it's like perfectionism. It's like you want to become flawless and perfect in anything you're doing. Not only like not you, but your projects, anything you are doing, and things like this. So maybe we need to relax a little bit and have this rule of 80%. You know, I am like I like perfectionism. I like things to be done thoroughly, very good. I love it. I'm detail oriented. I always see where there are mistakes easily. That's how my mind works. But I don't allow myself to strive for perfection. I don't allow myself, because I have procrastinated in my life so much that I think that by my 45 years old that I am, I could achieve much more. But I didn't, because I was waiting for the perfect time, perfect condition, perfect outcome, perfect me, perfect camera, perfect lights. Everything had to be perfect, and it wasn't. And I just didn't know, to be honest, I didn't know how to start doing things that I want to start doing if I don't have perfect conditions. And I never had perfect conditions. You know, even today I don't have perfect condition. I have my cat screaming outside this door, and I have someone's dog barking all the time on the roof of the house, just outside of my window, and sometimes it reflects here. It's not perfect, but I think these are excellent conditions for me to develop my channel. That's enough for me, because it's not about the conditions, it's about what I'm going to do with what I have. I need to go to the next level with what I have, and that's what I'm doing. Thank you for watching, thank you for joining, thank you for being here with us, and bye.